Today we're going to read the story, The Invitation. Okay, now, as we're reading this chapter, I want you guys to be thinking about what we are learning about the characters Mouse and Mole. Mouse found an invitation in her mailbox. It was from her neighbor Mole. Dear Mouse, if you are not too busy, please come join me for lunch to celebrate our new garden. Your neighbor downstairs, Mole. Around noon, there came a tap, tap, tap at Mole's door. Glad you could make it, said Mole. Please come in. Mouse had picked up dandelions for the occasion. For you, she said, until our flowers come up. Mouse looked around the room. My, but you keep a nice tidy hole, squeaked Mouse. Thank you, said Mole. It was a bit damp inside Mole's hole. Mouse shivered. Mole also kept his place rather dark, as bright lights hurt his eyes. Mouse bumped into the table as she sat down. So what are we learning about Mole as Mouse has come into his house? Mole poured a cup of tea for Mouse and one for himself. I wasn't sure how you liked your worms, said Mole, so I prepared them 2 ways. The ones on the right are lightly fried. The ones on the left have not been cooked. Dig in. Mouse took one of each to be polite. What do you think might happen next? Mole filled his plate. He was starved. Mole crunched. Mole slurped. Mouse poked the worms on her plate. The one on the left wiggled and squirmed. Mouse's stomach began to wiggle and squirm. The one on the right looked greenish-gray. Mouse's face turned a greenish-gray. Have we discovered some troubles already in this chapter? Think to yourself for a moment, what trouble or problem are our characters having? The air made her sneeze. Achoo! Goodness, Mouse, said Mole, you don't look well. I don't feel so good, moaned Mouse. Please excuse me, Mole, but I think I had better go upstairs and lie down. She bumped into the door on her way out. That evening, Mole found an invitation in his mailbox. Dear Mole, I am feeling much better. Please join me for dinner at 6 o'clock to continue our garden celebration. Your neighbor upstairs, Mouse. At 6 o'clock, there came a tap, tap, tap on Mouse's door. Right on time, said Mouse. Please come in. You are looking much better, said Mole. Thank you, said Mouse. The evening sun poured through the windows in Mouse's house. Mole covered his eyes. He walked smack into a wall. Mole bumped into a table as he sat down. Mouse poured a cup of tea for Mole and one for herself. I was not sure which cheese you preferred, said Mouse. So I cut up 2 kinds. The one on the left is cheddar, and the one on the right is Limburg. Help yourself. To be polite, Mole took a thin slice of cheese. Mouse loaded her plate. She was famished. She nibbled, Mouse gnawed. And famished means that she was starving. Are you seeing any similarities between when Mouse went to Mole's house and now when Mole has come to Mouse's house? Mole's head still ached from walking into the wall. He began to wobble in his seat. The bright light over the table hurt his eyes. The strong odor of Limburg made his stomach flip-flop. Plop! Mole toppled right off the chair. "Mercy, Mole," squeaked Mouse. "Are you okay?" Mole groaned. "I feel a bit dizzy. Please excuse me. But I think I'd better go downstairs and rest." He bumped into the door on his way out. And that is the end of Chapter 2, The Invitation. So, what are some big important parts from this chapter? Retell this chapter to your learning coach. Think, do they have a problem that came up? Do they have a solution?